Hey, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that video from Brain Pop Jr. about telling time. Let's just review a little bit. I have a clock that you can see here. We know that we have learned to count time or tell time, excuse me, to the hour by watching where our minute and our hour hands are. We have also learned how to tell time to the half hour, which would be when our minute hand is down on the 6 for 30 minutes past the hour. We have also learned to tell time to the quarter past and the quarter till or quarter to. That would be when our minute hand is on the 3, we count to 15, and that's a quarter past an hour. Or when our minute hand is on the 9, at the 45-minute mark, we say a quarter to. We've also learned to count or tell time to the 5 minutes, meaning at each number as we go around the clock, we know that is 5 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way around till we get back to the 12. Now we know at the 12, we say, when our minute hand is on the 12, we say o'clock. But another way to remember is that that is one complete hour. So if my hour hand moves from the 1 all the way back around to the 2, we know that we have had one complete hour or 60 minutes, okay? And it is important for us to remember that 60 minutes equals one complete hour. Well, we can even tell time down to even a closer time by using the actual minutes. Now these are going to be the little dots or the little dashes that you see in between our numbers on our clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But notice with me, these are red dots that I have on my clock. You may see a dash on a clock that is around your home, if it is what we call an analog clock, which is this. Well, that means that if my clock right now has the time of hour hand 1 and my minute hand is on the 2, which we know is 1:10 or the time of 1:10. But what if I were to move my minute hand down to this dot? Well, now it would be 1:11 because I have moved one little space between after the 2, but I'm still not to the 3 where I would say 15. So if my hand is on this dot, it would be 11. The next dot would be 12. 13, 14, and then when it gets to the 3, we're on 15. So there are 5 minutes in between each of these, and that's represented by our dots. So if I were to come down here, let's look at this part of the clock. If my minute hand is on the 5, get my hand right here. Put him over here on the 5. Well, that's a big hand, isn't it? Let's see if I can get him shrunk down a little bit to my 5. There we go. I'm going to lock him in place. So now the time on my clock would be 1:25. 1:25. So if I were to put the hand on this next dot, it would be 1:26. Next dot, 1:27. Next dot, 1:28. Next dot, 1:29. And then when my minute hand reaches the 6, I know that I am half past the hour, or it would be 1:30. So guys, that's what those little dots or those little dashes in between each number. Can we count to 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 60? Yes, we can. And if we can count 1 to 60, we can tell the time to the minute on our clock faces, okay? Now, I told you that 60 minutes equals 1 hour. Well, guess what 60 seconds equals, guys? 60 seconds equals 1 minute. We can say a number at about 1 second. So maybe in 1 minute, I could count to 60, but if each time I said a number, it equaled a second, because 60 seconds equals 1 minute. And 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So that's just a quick review of what we've learned so far about telling time and getting a little bit careful with our minute hands as we work our way around the clock. Now, I would love for you to go ahead and get your lesson worksheet out, lesson worksheet 106, and we're going to work through this together and learn to tell time to the minute. Let's write the time. Looking at the first clock, the first thing I want to recognize is where my hour hand is. So let's look carefully together. My hour hand is just past the 4. And my minute hand is still over here on this side of the clock, the 1, 2, or 3. So I know that my hour is going to be in the 4 o'clock hour. Now let's look at where my minute hand is. Well, the minute hand is between the 2 and 3. Well, I know if I count by 5s, my 1 is 5, my 2 is 10. So these little lines in between are my little minute hands. So are my minute dashes or dots. So this would be 11, 12, 13. So the time is 4:13. Great job. Let's look at the second clock and write the time. Well, first of all, let's get our hour. Now, this hour hand looks like it's almost on the 2, but it's not quite. I can also see that my minute hand is way over here by the 9 and the 10. So I know that it cannot be the hour of 2 yet. It's getting close, but not quite. So I am still in the hour of 1 o'clock. Now I'm going to look at the minute hand. My minute hand is between the 9 and the 10. Now I know if I skip count by 5s and I get around here to the 9, I'm at 45. And if I get to the 10, I would be at 50. But my minute hand is not quite on the 10. So from the 9, I'm going to count up from 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. The time on the second clock is 1:49. Now, another strategy could have been, well, I know if it was on the 10, my minute hand would be at the 50, and 1 less is 49. So that strategy works as well. All right, I'll give you just a second. Why don't you see if you can write the time for the third clock on the top row? If you came to the time of 10:32, you are correct. Your hour hand is halfway between the 10 and 11, and your minute hand is 2 spots past the 6, which we know is 30 minutes past the hour. Great job. Now at the bottom of our page today, it asks us to show the time, which means we're going to have to write the minute and the hour hands on our clock. So let's look at the first clock, and I need to say the time of 3:29, and I need to show that on my clock. Now, 29, I know, is getting really close to 30, so that's about halfway through the hour. So I'm going to make sure that my shorthand, or my hour hand, is halfway between the 3 and the 4. Now to show the minute hand. Well, I know, again, if my minute hand is way on the 6, that's 30 minutes past the hour. I know that 29 comes right before 30. It's one less than 30. So my minute hand is going to be on this little dash or dot, if that's what's on your clocks at home, to show the time of 3:29. Excellent. Our second clock on the bottom says to show the time for 7:08. Well, 08 I know is almost 10 minutes past the hour, but not quite. So my hour hand for 7 is going to be pretty much on the 7, not far past it. Oops, sorry, my little arrow got a little crazy there. Now to find the minute hand and where I need to draw my minute hand. Well, 08, well, I know if I go to the 1, skip counting by 5s, that's 5. And if I go to the 2 by skip counting, that's 10. So I know that 8 is going to be between 5 and 10. So let me count from here. 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. My minute hand, I'm going to draw to the dash. That is 8 minutes past the hour between the 5 and the 10. So now my clock says 7:08 or shows the time of 7:08. Pause if you need to, or I'm going to give you just a minute. I want you to draw the time, show the time for 12:54. Be careful with your hour hand. All right, if your analog clock looks something like your hour hand, almost on the 1, but not quite, and your minute hand is right before the 11 to show 54 minutes. This is 50 minutes, 51, 52, 53, 54. So the time, while it looks like 1:54, it really is 12:54 because my hour hand is almost on the 1, but not quite. We're only about 6 minutes, if you count them, until you're back to o'clock, and it would be 1 o'clock then. Excellent job. Now, I do want to do the first part of your guided class practice with you today, just so we can work on these equal group story problems together. So get your guided class practice, page 106A. You may draw your 8-centimeter line segment and measure your line segment when we finish our video. Let's go ahead and work on our first problem together. Amon put the peanuts in groups of 10. Well, I know that's important. When he finished, he counted 4 groups of peanuts. Draw a picture and write a number sentence to show how many peanuts he has. Well, he has groups of 10. So I'm going to have 10 peanuts in each group, and he had 4 groups. So I'm going to make my 4 groups. There's a group, there's a group, there's a group, and there's a group. 4 groups, and how many did he have in each group? 10. So let's make 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When we're doing a math problem, we're just doing a quick pencil sketch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want to be really artistic about it, you can go draw some peanuts, and that is just fine. You can do that a little later. So let's see. How many groups did we have, guys? We had 4 groups. And how many peanuts did we put in each group? 10 peanuts. So what would our number sentence be? Well, we have 4 groups. When I'm working with equal groups, that means I'm multiplying. So I use the times sign or the X. Times 10 equals 10, 20, 30, 40. Very good. We've learned to multiply by 10. So how many peanuts does he have total? He has 40 peanuts. Great job. Let's do number 2 together. It's one of these telling time to the minutes. It's morning. What time is it? Well, let's look at the clock and see. My hour hand looks like it's almost on the 8, but if I check my minute hand, I see that we're over here on this 10:11 side. So I know that the hour still is the 7 o'clock hour because it's not quite on the 8. It's getting close. Now I'm going to count my minutes. I know if my minute hand is on the 10, that's 50. So let me count my little dots. 51, 52, 53. The time is 7:53, but I'm not finished. It says morning. Would morning be AM or PM? That's correct. If it is morning, it is AM. Now you're going to finish your page, side A, on your own for your extra practice. Side B is totally optional. If you want to work a few problems or none at all, that's quite okay. You do not have any uploads or Google Forms for today's lesson. So just be sure that when you have finished to click mark as done. Great time reviewing, telling time, and learning how to tell time to the minutes. Bye, guys.